We ready to
Sorry.
move?
Is it time?
I'm ready.
Ye-
So, last time on RPG, you guys continued to make your way through the map. Oh, wait, hold on. Did I just? Oh no, that was another Discord. That was
You
another
just
Discord
died.
pinging.
I'm sorry. You're in hell now.
But anyway,
We're making our way
so after
downtown.
fighting your way through the mountain pass past bandits and it's and void portals and even making some friends along the way, you squared off against the surprisingly threatless bandit leader. Oh god, what was his fucking name? Even I'm forgetting this
The
shit. I
quest
really need
was
to
the real friends we made away.
You fought past the scary but surprisingly harmless Jerry Sampson, and in the void, the slightly more harmful crazed wizard Devin Wyatt.
Jerry!
And even made a friend along the way in the in the hell in the form of a surprisingly heroic bandit named Job.
Former bandit, hopefully.
Hopefully. So now, after camp and noticing some bodies mysteriously gone, you're now on your way back to town. I'm going to say that's where this session starts off. I'm going to say you guys approach the northern gate of the town. The sun is beginning to set around you as you kind of, because you've been walking for quite some time to try and get back. It's a long trek from the mountains to the town. And so you sort of you begin approaching the gate when a guard sort of like stops you quickly.
Oh, God.
Evening adventurers, and he sort of looks over your shoulders to kind of see Job in the back and sort of says, who's your friend there? And Job at this point sort of like tenses up a little bit and kind of like looks to you guys in a sort of I don't know what to do here motion kind of look.
Okay, well, out of character, to be fair, would he... the bandit robes, like, he got electrocuted, or not electrocuted, but he got, like... Would the bandit, like, uniform even be recognizable at this point?
I'm going to say the fact that it's so like tattered and like battle worn makes him look more like a bandit.
Oh, this is our new friend Job. He was kept prisoner at the bandit camp, and we rescued him. And he ended up helping out in defeating one of the bandits, one of the bandit commanders, a crazed mage named out of character. What was the guy's name again? We need that list of NPCs.
Yeah, we need list.
It's a
We need
we
characters.
do need that list. It's I think all you got his name was Wyatt. I think that's what you got.
A crazed void mage named Wyatt. Job here is a hero. He was willing to lay down his life for us, but thankfully he survived the critical wounds. He's with us. And he is a friend.
He sort of continues to kind of like look Job over and just sort of be like, well, just keep an eye on him, all right? He doesn't look like the best of character. Not doubting what he did, just not doubting what he did to help you, though.
Thank you.
But excuse me, one more time. Did you say that Wyatt was the? Did you say the name Wyatt was who you found at that bandit camp?
He had a laboratory that was only accessible through this, and then Amadeus produces the key that opens up the weird dimension.
The guard kind of looks at the key like he doesn't really get what it is, but it's only for a moment when he just because he just sort of like puts like a hand to his he just sort of puts like a hand to his temple and is just kind of like, oh, so that's what happened to him.
He had a temporal laboratory connected to the bandit camp. It was in some sort of pocket dimension of sorts. It was only accessible with this.
Oh, I can't believe it. White was the last town mage before Garen took office, you see. He was not happy to be ousted, but joining the bandits of all things, I would have never imagined.
He is obsessed with the idea of void magic.
What was he like before he left the town?
I mean, I don't know. He just seemed like a very quiet, normal guy. He didn't really get out much. Always just studying some magic theory or another. A few times he did talk. No one really seemed to know no one really seemed to know what he was saying. Magic kind of flies over people's heads in these parts.
Out of character, was Wyatt like school shooters here?
I wouldn't say that.
I'm sorry. Just something that came to my head. It's like he's. Sorry.
I would say he was a disgruntled government employee that just happened to have a bandit coven to join.
You guys are all right. Don't come to the town to the main plaza tomorrow.
Some of you guys are all right. Don't open a void portal tomorrow.
Yeah. Sorry, but yeah. But yes, we've had the unfortunate pleasure of encountering him after the fact, and he is whatever you knew about him. He has been completely and utterly seduced by the corruptive nature of void magic, and I won't go into the detail. Basically, it's a very, very unstable and chaotic form of arcane that shouldn't be messed with, and he's messing with it.
Well, I appreciate you sparing me the details, but I would say you probably wouldn't be sparing the even probably bring this to Mayor Garen. Do you know where to find her office in the main town?
Where would she be located?
So he sort of he points to your map. Do we still have the map pinned?
Like,
Right. So I would open up the map because he's going to be
the city hall. It's already labeled.
That's where he's would. City hall right to the order and sort of where they meet. Where you'd find Garen. I think it's probably best to report this to her as well as Farber.
All right. Who would you recommend we tell first, Farber or the mayor?
I feel like Garen would probably like to know what happened to him. He kind of disappeared after he was from his office.
So much, officer. We'll be on our way.
All right. So he kind of lets you go. He sort of side eyes Job as again as they're passing by, but he doesn't really.
Job's.
Okay, so you guys are now sort of like in proper. Coming in from the north would be you're already in the sort of noble quarter kind of area.
Let's head to the. Oh, sorry.
So now there's I'm just gonna say, sort of out of character, just to kind of lay out the paths. So you've got basically, I'd say, like 3 main places to go from right now. Either like to Farber's, to the mayor's office, or also Celestina Bellatani, the mage that you guys are acquainted with, would definitely also like to take a look at the things you found in Farber's laboratory, in Wyatt's laboratory.
First of all, we should probably talk to the guard captain.
I'm back, by the way.
Oh, I didn't realize you left.
No, my internet was shit itself.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Alright.
Yeah. Farber would probably be the first best bet. He's probably expecting.
Yes, we should get him the latest updates
but-
right away.
But we, Job.
Me?
We'll be heading to the guards' quarters, and I'm not sure that that gentleman at the gate gave us trouble. So I'm not entirely sure if, while we know that you're a good man, walking into the guards' quarter with someone who might look like a bandit might be a bad idea. So I'm not entirely sure what we should do, and I don't want you going off by yourself in case someone else tries to give you trouble.
Well, I don't know. I don't exactly have a change of. He sort of like looks at it. He sort of like looks down at his purse, and he's like, I don't exactly have a change of clothes.
Let's see. What time is it out of character?
Let's say it's about 6.
Is there a clothing shop in the market district?
You could look for one.
Actually, before we go anywhere, let's head to the market district just quickly and see if we can get Job a change of attire. How does that sound?
It's on the way.
We shall do that.
All right. So you guys heading to the market quarter. You guys kind of look around for a while until you do see a shop that looks pretty promising. It's got a sign that has no real like clear like labeling on it, but it does sort of look like in the shape of a tunic.
We walk in.
So the shopkeeper is just sort of sitting, kind of like bored, looking at his desk, and just sort of, or counter rather, and just sort of looks up and just be like, "Oh, hello there."
Hello, fine sir. Our friend here is a bit of a tattered mess. Do you have anything that is nice but not overtly expensive? And then Amadeus turns to Joe. We're a bit broke ourselves.
Well, nice, but not overly expensive. The not overly expensive part I've got covered, but this has been a little hard lately.
Well, nicer is relative to what he's wearing now. We were in a fierce battle recently, and he unfortunately does not have a change of clothes on him.
Oh, I'm sure. I imagine I could get him a standard tunic set with pants for. He sort of like looks Job over a little bit. Let's say 5 silver.
That will work. I'll handle this. And Amadeus puts out the silver.
Okay.
Do you have a change room as well? It would be best. We have other errands to run.
Oh, yes, right in the back. So Job just sort of heads to the back. Just sort of you hear him sort of like shuffling around for a moment while he's changing, and then he comes out wearing just the absolute plainest of like very thin looking like gray shirt and like not well sort of like brownish gray shirt and pants. He just sort of walks. Oh, it's not bad. It's a bit of a draft here, don't you think?
Well, it's better than what you were wearing before. Hopefully gods won't mistake you for any ruffians now, for any kind of ruffian.
You're looking sweet, Job.
And whatever you do, let us do the talking. Because we're not entirely sure, but just and you know. Amadeus isn't going to say much because they're in the store shop.
He does that kind of like lip zipping motion.
Nowadays turns to the shopkeeper. Thank you, fine sir. This will do just nicely.
Oh, thanks to you, sirs. Thanks to you. If you have any other friends looking in need of cheaper clothes, than you'd find in the noble district. Please send them my way.
Thank you. Have a good evening. They leave.
All right.
All right, that covers that, I think.
Okay, so now that you guys are... So, where to next, fellas?
Now we can head to the gods proper.
Yeah.
Now that our friend looks less suspicious.
Alright. So, you head over to the guards' quarter, and you see there's sort of a crowd gathered around the front entrance to the like head guard office. Sort of a crowd of people not dressed much better than how Job looks. Just sort of like milling about, just kind of like being sort of like, some of them are kind of like sort of like rowdily sort of just yelling things that you can't quite make out from from where you're standing.
Yeah, well, at least we're not getting stopped. Hopefully.
Well, if you're going to approach the crowd.
Oh yeah, I guess. Oh.
So as you sort of like approach to move through the crowd, you kind of like bump shoulders with someone who sort of like spins around to look at you and just kind of like, "Hey, I know you three." Hey, he sort of like turns around to his back and just sort of says, "Hey guys, looks like Farber brought his death squad to break us up."
What? Whoa.
And now this sort of draws a lot of like kind of angry looking eyes towards you guys.
We've just gotten back into town. What in the god's name are you all talking about?
People are sort of like milling around, kind of like being a little bit angry at you. Just sort of like, "Down with Garen! Oh, Farber won't see us himself, but he'll have his bodyguards come." And you sort of, the crowd is like very sort of like agitated and like aren't super keen on letting you pass.
Move out the way, move out the way.
We've got adventurers' business here. We are no one's bodyguards.
He sort of, Pikachu, as you say that, one guy sort of like steps forward and kind of like, I want to say gets up into your face, but he's sort of just trying
He
to.
Can't get up into your face.
He stands pretty close to you and kind of bends down a little bit. Just gonna be like, "Oh, what are you gonna do?" Like, what are you gonna do? You gonna burn anything else down?
I'll have to use force to get through this.
Pikachu, you're not helping.
No, man, these guys are up in my grill.
Please,
I'm gonna be nice and say, for your guys' sake, that no one heard you say that.
Can someone please tell me what you're all talking about?
So no one really has like much of a chance to answer, because some guards actually do come out and kind of like push their way through and just kind of being like,
Please, God.
you three, what are you doing standing in the middle of these roughhousers? Come on in. You're here to see Farber, aren't you? He's meeting with Garen right now, but I'm sure they'll have you.
All right.
So the guards kind of escort you through the fairly unruly mob.
Excuse me, God. What's all the commotion about? We've been in town not a half an hour.
Seems like anywhere the mayor goes, a crowd of Tannis's more devout, let's say, follows her. They really have been kicking up a stink as of late with the election drawing so close.
Yeesh.
Politics gives me a headache.
Not my place to say it, but personally, I think Tannis is a fine woman, but she really needs to break off from that mob. Gives her a bad name, if you ask me.
Yes, Alita. Well, did she send them?
Oh, out of character. Who is Tan? She is the lady that met you outside of the tavern. I think it was 2 sessions ago.
Yeah.
She is like she's sort of running against the current mayor because she's a bit upset with the current leadership. after, sort of like the way stuff like the Mountain Massacre was handled.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, I do agree that,
Wait, hold on one second. Alright, I thought my cat wanted to go out, but it looks like he just wants to sit on my desk. So you get... So what were you saying?
She's not sicking the mob on people, is she? Or are these just sort of followers that are just doing whatever they please?
I would imagine she isn't sicking people on anyone, but she knows how to whip up a crowd. I feel like any malcontents that hear her speak would probably be moved to start a riot, even if she didn't outright say it.
Hmm. The way the crowd gathered, you think an execution was going on?
Oh no, I'd leave the electric. Oh, I'd leave the. I'd say the execution is going. I'd say the execution is going to be election day. If you'll pardon the macabre turn of phrase. Anyway, here you are, and he points you to Farber's closed office for once.
Thank you, sir. And I guess we enter.
knock on the door, I guess.
Okay, are you gonna knock?
Or is Pikachu gonna kick down the door again?
We knock.
You might kick.
With respect.
Okay.
Despite my rage against the crowd.
Despite all my age, I'm just a yellow rat in a cage.
So you sort of hear Farber's voice kind of muffled, just being like, "Who's there? Who is it?"
Adventurers, we've returned.
Oh, you three. Come in, come in.
Don't worry, we're not here to rally for Faris.
No. We had a hard time getting in.
So you you walk in, and you see Farber at his desk in his shiny guard uniform as always, but standing sort of like off to the side a little bit in front of him, like in front of the desk, is like a rather smartly dressed woman with like a pretty average looking woman in all regards, except for the fact that she's dressed like very nicely.
That crowd gathered outside has more fight in them than the bandits did.
The woman kind of like softly laughs at this and just goes, "Oh, that's certainly true." She sort of extends a hand out. She extends a hand out to you. Greetings.
Amadeus extends his hand out and shakes her hand.
Clementine Guerin. I don't believe we've met. I'm the mayor of this town.
Hey, Ma.
Excuse me?
You got a man? Can he fight?
She sort of shrugs this off.
She just acts like I didn't say it.
Amadeus is taking his seat down. He's just sitting down. He's not. Just before something happens. Is Job still with us? Nothing happened to Job, did it?
I'll say Job is sort of like. I'm gonna say Job hasn't entered the room yet. He's just sort of standing outside, just kind of being, just sort of like, we can come in. Okay. And he just sort of quickly just kind of walks in.
If he's close enough to Amadeus pats him on the back and just be like, "Just calm down, man." He doesn't say that, but that's like what the patting is like.
Yeah.
Just remember what we said. Let us do the talking.
Garen kind of like, when Garen sees Job walk in, she kind of like gets like a sort of smile on her face, and she's sort of, "Oh, Job, it seems like it's been years. How have you been?" Job's a little bit confused by this, and he's just kind of like, he sort of like looks to you guys, and then he looks to Farber, and he's just kind of like, "It's been good."
Amadeus is like, "What the hell are you talking about, man? Look, I'm looking at Job like,
You don't really get back to the old stomping grounds much, do you, Clementine? Miss Garen. Oh, not much these days anymore. I hope everything's all right with you and your family. Anyways, what are you three here for?
We are here to report that we've made progress. We've had a character. Did we really do what we were supposed to do and take out most of the bandits at that mountain fortress thing?
Well, you guys didn't full clear it, but you did take out two people who were very obviously like kingpins.
We have managed to somewhat dismantle the fortress up in the mountain. We handled the brutish out of character. What's that guy's name?
Oh my god, we're forgetting everyone.
NPC list. We need it.
We really need it. It's going to be. That is. Actually, you know what? I don't think he ever told you his name. Well, no, he did. He said his name was Samson.
Oh yeah, Samson.
We took down the brutish Samson, and then a short while after, the void magic obsessed mage Wyatt.
So both of these people seem to react to these names a little bit differently from another. Like Farber seems like a lot. Farber gets sort of like a sullen look on his face when you say Wyatt, or not Wyatt when you say Samson. But Clementine's kind of like puts like a hand to her mouth and sort of lets out sort of like a soft sort of gasp when you say Wyatt.
Amadeus continues, by the way. Hold on, sorry. And says, we also now have proof of these void magic creatures, and he's going to levitate. He's not going to touch it, and he's not going to let anyone else touch it, but he's going to levitate the void magic mask that's not broken. He's like, this mask is used to turn people into void magic cronies or zombies or what have you. Wyatt has been dabbling in void magic, and we are somewhat certain that he might be responsible for the happenings that Farber that you may still have doubts about, and you can, and we're not trying to say that you don't have the right to. But from what we've seen, we're starting to connect the dots, and he has been taking people like our good friend Job here and using them as guinea pigs, if you were. And then he's going to put the mask back in his coat. We will also be handing in these magical artifacts to the mage in the tower, whose name just escapes me. What's her name again? God,
Bellatani.
God damn it. We will be handing these magical artifacts to Bellatani so that she may study and hopefully figure out a way to counteract void magic. And then he puts the mask back in his coat. For the safety of everyone,
Alright.
These masks should not be trifled with or touched. Because once they land on your face, it's too late.
Alright. So after you're explained, Garen just sort of like shakes her head and looks at the ground and just sort of is, oh, poor Wyatt. Can't say I didn't see this coming, though. I've always said that Connington really isn't a town for mages. It's really just not a good area for them. Oh, you three are fine, of course. Just saying in general. So Farber kind of doesn't really react to that, besides just sort of like looking her away for a second and just sort of says, oh, well, either way, it's a bit disheartening to hear some of those names were bandit leaders, but if you've killed them, I guess you all deserve a reward. He says as he sort of like he reaches down under his desk and kind of pulls out 6 gold coins and kind of like places them in 3 neat stacks, just to kind of as sort of, there we go, the normal payment we've agreed on.
6 coins each or 6 coins divided?
Divided. He puts them in like 3 stacks of 2.
Okay. Amadeus takes one of his and then he hands the other one to Job.
What? Wait, the other one of what?
Gold. He
Oh,
took
I
one
thought
of
you
his
said.
gold. No.
Oh, I thought you said you took like an extra stack and gave it to
No,
Job.
no. I was trying to have Amadeus be extremely like, God damn it. Yeah, he takes his and one of his coins. He pockets his one coin and then he hands the other one to Job.
So Job sort of like looks at the gesture. He's like, "Oh, I can't accept that.
Job, you
I mean-
saved our lives back there. Take it.
I
Take it.
okay.
He's like forcing it.
Yeah.
Amadeus puts the coin in his hand and then literally closes Amadeus. Amadeus literally closes his fingers. Like makes Job close his fingers with the coin in his hand.
Okay. All right, and so I'm gonna assume that Mirka and Pikachu take their share as well.
Yes, sir.
And then Farber just kind of. So Farber just kind of. Well, seems like you guys had quite an adventure at that camp. Tell me, you didn't happen to find a sort of a more slender man, bit of a slender build, dark hair, bit of a sharp face, did you?
Out of character, we didn't run into anyone like that, did we?
No.
Unfortunately, not. Other than the usual bandit mooks, the only people of interest were Wyatt and Samson.
Farber just kind of like. So we still can't find him. The man I'm asking about is one Lewis Neal. He's sort of as far as we know, the head of the bandits.
Mm.
I figured for sure that mountain encampment being so heavily guarded was where he was also hiding out. But I guess he's still at large. What is he? I don't know why he hasn't made a move personally since the mountain massacre. I'm not quite sure what he's planning.
We didn't get much of a chance to fully explore the void portal place that we came across.
I like the term vortal.
Vor-
We didn't explore the vortal.
It's like a portal, but vor.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes. Wyatt had a laboratory of sorts hidden away in almost a pocket dimension, a place between places, and that was only accessible by this key. This key doesn't seem to work on any other normal locks.
Well, I would imagine that. I wouldn't have quite known that was a key unless you told me so.
Wyatt was talking to someone else, but I don't believe it was the man you're speaking of. And what did the guy look like again? It's been a while.
So he was wearing sort of like a pitch black robe, and he had a black mask on his face, similar to the ones that you've seen the sort of void creatures you've been fighting wear, but it actually had like actual facial features.
Yes, the person that Wyatt was actually reporting to was possibly another user of void magic. Although he wore a mask, he himself was conscious and sentient. So we're not sure. We're not sure his connection just yet.
Well, I can't say that anyone with masks fits any real descriptions I've heard of bandits. But we'll keep an eye out. Thank you for your report.
That is the only other person of interest we came across.
Well, unless there's anything further, me and Garen here were discussing. Me and Mayor Garen were discussing some matters that wouldn't be quite interesting to you three, I would imagine, or you four, I would imagine.
That's fine. It's been a long day. We need our rest.
Yeah. So with that, Garen just sort of like gives you just sort of like a very sort of faint wave, and just sort of, oh, thank you so much. Say, could I count on your support in the upcoming election? Every vote counts, you know.
We'll think about it.
We are currently not entirely sure, and while this town seems to be, doing fine, we are not currently entangled in local politics at the moment.
Oh, fine thing to not be entangled in. Either way, your consideration is all I ask.
Of course.
Thank you, gentlemen and miss.
Out of
Hope you have a
character,
wonderful day.
whenever that kind of gets asked, like in real life, it's like I'm not talking to anyone about politics.
Oh, believe me, that's not lost on me. That's,
Yeah.
That's what we call a bit of character building.
Yeah.
The fact that Garen is very open to ask strangers if they would support her in an upcoming election.
We'll be on our way. We have some things to drop off at the tower.
Very well. Say, he sort of he calls for a guard passing by. You there? Could you escort our? I would imagine that crowd isn't quite dispersed yet. Could you escort our guests out? Yes, of course, Captain Farber.
Thank
So
you,
yes.
Captain.
The man kind of he sort of approaches you. He's like, "So you guys are ready to go then?"
Yes, you may lead the way, sir.
All right, and lead the way he does through the guard quarter, and sort of out the gate, kind of, helps you push through the unruly mob like the last one did. This one's a bit less talkative though, so he kind of just does his job and then sort of heads back to sort of push himself back through the crowd, back through to get into the front door.
I don't know about you guys, but I want to head up to the what's she called, the mage void person who
What?
knows
The
the
mage void person.
person who knows the woman in the tower.
Well, she's not a void person, but she would
She knows
possibly
void.
know.
That was a
Yeah.
defining trait.
I just call it the mage in the tower.
Okay. So if that is that where you guys are planning on
Yes.
heading?
Belladonna, was it?
Celestina Bellatani.
Bellatani. Okay.
Very, very elven, very elvish name.
Okay. Yeah, we'll head to her tower.
I'll make a character sheet, I promise.
We need that.
It's been such a busy week. I haven't. I'll
Yeah.
make it tonight. I promise.
It's not really a character sheet we need. We need a list.
Okay. It'll be a sheet.
All right.
All right. So you guys kind of make your way. It's not too far. It's not very far of a walk because if you recall, her tower is also in the noble quarter, which you are sort of right adjacent to, which the guards' quarter is like adjacent to. And so then, it's not long before you sort of arrive at once again at the very sort of dilapidated looking tower that you've seen before.
Mm-hmm. We knock on the door.
Unless you guys object, I'm going to say that you knock on the door,
Yes, Nico
and it
just said
slowly
Don't go barging into a major
opens,
tower.
and you see the familiar face of her little goblin assistant, which, in case you guys didn't remember, it was Grubworm, but she calls him Grubby.
hey, long time no see.
Yes. Hello.
Dingle.
Dingle.
Why did
Oh,
I don't
you
know
cut out.
why. I don't know why it's only when we're doing this that my mic cuts out.
It doesn't like it.
I almost feel like GroovyBot has something to do with it, but whatever. So, you guys. So, I'm gonna repeat that whole thing because I don't know if you guys heard me. I'm not sure if you guys heard any of it.
No.
Nope.
So the door opens and you sort of see the somewhat familiar face of Celestina's goblin assistant, which for you guys' benefit, out of character, you have been introduced. He's named Grubworm. She calls him Grubby, sort of as a sort of like an endearing nickname. And he sort of opens the door and he kind of looks up at you guys. Oh, I remember. And then he sort of turns to Job. Some of you.
Yes, apologize. We have a +1 today.
He kind of shifts a little bit.
Oh.
I was really only told to let you guys in. Job just sort of like Job is just sort of almost immediately kind of resigns himself, just kind of being like,
we won't be too long, Job.
It's fine. I get it.
A bench or something around here.
I'll just lean up. He sort of like awkwardly leans up against the wall and I'll just wait for you guys, I guess.
All right.
So Grubby kind of lets you in, and as he does, he sort of lets you in, and then he kind of looks around at the sort of little entrance lobby. He's kind of just like, do you guys remember where Miss Bellatani's room is, right? Up the stairs and all that. It's just really dirty in here. I just really want to. And he's just sort of like what he's saying kind of trails off. He kind of pulls out sort of like a small feather duster and just starts to like dust down the tables.
Yes, of course. You continue with what you need to do. We can handle it from here. Thank you, Grubworm.
Thank you. Sorry.
And we head up the stairs.
Yeah, so you guys head up the stairs and sort of head into Miss Bellatani's chambers. But the door is open this time, and you sort of just head in.
Lady Bellatani, are you here?
She sort of she looks up from the book she was reading at her desk and just sort of, oh, it's you three again. Wonderful.
Yes, it's good to see you too.
Oh,
sorry.
It's good to see the three of you as well. How fares the bandit slaying adventure?
Well, we've learned some interesting things that you might be interested in, as they pertain to magic, specifically void magic.
Very interesting indeed. What do you have for me?
One of the people that was sort of commanding the bandits up in the fortress in the mountains, and the person who we also might suspect might be related to the void happenings that we came across when we first came to Connington. A mage named Wyatt, who seems to be obsessed with obtaining the power that void magic promises. Does that name at all sound familiar?
Well, I've certainly heard of the fellow, but he was long gone when I came to town.
Well, he seemed had to have access to. He was probably creating these masks, and Amadeus levitates out the mask and puts it on a nearby desk. And is Pikachu going to take out the pieces of the broken mask? Legend?
So?
You have the broken mask that you picked up?
Oh, yeah. I forgot. So am I giving it to her?
Yeah, I put it on a table. I can take the pieces and put them on the table for. Okay, yeah. Imagine like Pikachu jumps up on a chair. These void masks were similar to what we encountered, and as we suspected, once it is latched on to a human or a subject, that the said subject loses all consciousness and self-identity, becoming a mere husk of a body that can be commanded by others. I'd be very careful.
Fascinating.
Keep this one, keep the intact one very far from your face, just in case.
So she sort of she levitates a couple leatherback tomes up to sort of like near her, and just kind of opens them to pages with like some sort of magic looking diagrams on them.
Wyatt was also hiding in a laboratory in a pocket dimension of sorts, using this Vortal key, and he takes out the key and puts it on her desk. I like the word too.
She
I
sort
love
of
that
looks.
that's the thing
She looks at you and she says, I beg your pardon. What kind of key?
A key that opened up a portal into a sort of void pocket dimension, a Vortal.
She sort of. Ah, okay, wonderful. Oh,
Again, we thought it
And
best
where
that these
am
magical
I,
artifacts were handed off to you.
come on. Hello.
Yeah.
We hear
Oh
you.
yeah.
We hear
Sorry.
you.
We hear you.
Oh, you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
good.
I just wanted to say we find it best if these we were thinking it'd be best to hand these magical artifacts off to you, as you probably could do a lot more.
Well, I am quite happy that you would keep me in mind with these matters. So she sort of she approaches the she approaches the mask and sort of she kind of does this motion almost like she's sort of like rubbing something onto her hands. And just then sort of like starts almost to your guys' shock with like a bare hand sort of like running her fingers along sort of the grooves that are sort of made into the void mask, the full void mask.
Amadeus looks a bit worried, but he's not doing anything.
Fascinating. The carvings on these are quite intricate. Much more than you'd see. It would almost seem like a good mason must have made these, but that wouldn't quite make sense. She sort of flips through her like tomes a little bit, and then kind of levitates what almost looks like a small eyeglass towards her, and sort of like puts it to her face and sort of examines the mask more closely. And her eyes just sort of like widen a little bit, and she's like, "Oh, she sort of turns to you three and goes, "Oh, this is an amazing find. Do you know what this mask is made of?"
No clue.
We have a suspicion, a solidified void magic? If not, then
Not just solidified void magic, solidified pure void magic. I've never seen void magic of this purity, much less in a crystallized form. It's incredible.
now is pure void magic more dangerous than the usual comings of void magic? Or by pure, do you mean that void magic could have some beneficial applications if done if created correctly?
She kind of she stops for a moment and she just sort of thinks, "Oh, I suppose you're not very well versed in void magic, I guess. Well,
They didn't exactly teach it at the Mages Guild. I focused on force magic.
She sort of stops for a moment, just sort of thinking, what is the best way to explain this? And then she sort of snaps her fingers and just like, okay, well, here's this. So, when you use, say, force or spirit magic, you're creating things, be it fire, electricity, wind. Void magic is sort of the inverse of that. It's kind of creating nothing in a sense, or removing the things around it. Basically, the closer you come to fully sort of removing the space around your void spell, the more pure it is. And it's sort of symbolized by how deep the purple hue is of the magic, going all the way to, well, she points to the mask, black.
Pikachu just has like steam coming out of his ears.
I know it's a bit of a complex topic. Void magic is really a fascinating topic of magical study. There's so much potential in it there, but it's such a unstable force. If it could be properly harnessed, it would be a new age of magic. I would like to meet the person who made this mask. Although, I do say that, understanding that maybe that's not so true.
Void magic, while it is possible it could have some good applications, it still bothers me that it is more often than not misused, and it, and how it can easily destroy the lives of others.
It is true. Boy, its relation to destruction is a bit inseparable from it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That said, though, that makes this mask even more exciting. Imagine creating something from a force meant to destroy. It's really quite It's really quite amazing. And then her attention sort of shifts to the key that you have. And then she sort of holds it in her hands for a bit. It's quite an interesting design. This is definitely. I've seen magical keys like this before, but this one's got a rather strong enchantment on it. Where did you said this opened a portal?
Yes, it opened some kind of dimensional doorway into where Wyatt's laboratory was, but it only worked on a specific set location.
Yes, I can imagine that. This key was probably meant solely to open that door.
Mm-hmm. Oh, before I forget, speaking of masks, while we didn't have a chance to talk to him or trade blows with this other fellow, there was a man dressed in all black that was wearing a similar mask, but it actually had carved in facial features, and he seemed to be fully aware of, himself, unlike what we've previously seen with the void mask zombies, as you might say. He left Wyatt to deal with us, though, so we're not sure where he went. So it seems there might be different kinds of masks, but he was obviously even higher up than Wyatt was on the chain of command.
It is quite interesting. Maybe some sort of collective of void magic users.
Organization 13.
Well, anyways, is that all you had to show me? Out of character, no, it's not.
It's not?
You have a book?
Oh, yes. Which book? Oh, unmarked book. Sorry. Thank you for reminding me. Oh, we also found this in Wyatt's personal library. And he takes out the unmarked book.
I saw Jibu typing something, but yes, not. Okay, so...
Thank you, Dingle, for reminding me. I wasn't sure.
So she sort of, takes the tome in her hands. And as she sort of thumbs through it, you sort of see this, wide-eyed almost look of excitement kind of cross her face as she sort of, flips through the pages with, increasing speed. She's this is amazing!
What is it exactly?
I have no idea! She sort of sees, I'm gonna guess you made sort of a face towards that.
Mm-hmm.
So she sort of notices that and just sort of thinks, "Oh, I'm not sure you understand. I am completely fluent in Common, Elvish, Ancient Elvish, Dwarvish, and all 7 of the Common Orcish dialects. And I can't read a single word of this. Do you know how incredible this is? It has all the markings of a real language, but it's completely indecipherable."
Amadeus kind of deadpans.
This was a fantastic find. Who knows? Maybe this has something to do with the creation of these masks. I'm going to have to look at this much further.
Alrighty, again, feel free. These are our findings.
Oh, say, this was some time ago, but I recall that you had Mr. Malcolm, the guard lieutenant, was looking into the matter of those ruins for you.
Mm-hmm.
He found nothing.
That is interesting.
But now we felt
Kurt-
that the connection between that and Wyatt, now that we are aware of him.
Do you think maybe it'd be worth another look?
It's hard to say, but I would tell you this. Oh, did my vote?
No,
Okay,
I heard
no, it
that.
didn't cut
No,
out.
no,
That
no,
looks like
no.
Ruby.
Okay, now you have cut out if you're saying something.
Yeah.
God damn it.
God. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. I
Um,
hear you.
I
Oh,
think
no.
it's. I think it might be Groovy, but I hope it's not.
You think so?
Well, I don't. Well, this. I've never had this happen to me, like where my mic just randomly cuts out. Before.
I mean,
Mhm.
neither of ours are cutting out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's just say. Where was it? Oh yeah. So she said. Well, ever since our first sort of. Ever since the first foray I took with the guards to those ruins, Malcolm has insisted that I'm not allowed to come on previous ones, and every time he reports to me that there was nothing of interest. I'm starting to wonder about that man. That might be worth looking into further. If you have the time, of course. I'm sure you're busy adventurers.
Well, not right now. We're just hoping to, hopefully put these items. Giving these items to you will be hopefully put to good use. And it's actually been a long day for us. But if you have any more information, we will gladly listen.
Well, not at the moment, at least. Say, you never happened to get a look at, what's behind these masks, did you?
Not entirely. It was,
We were being cautious.
yes.
Fair enough, I suppose. Well, anyway, I suppose I will leave the three of you to your business.
So wait, are we leaving the mask with her, or are we taking them back?
I thought we were leaving them with her.
Yeah, I can do that.
Unless you guys want to hold on to it,
No,
I suppose.
It's no,
No.
easy.
I don't want to hold on to that because that could be bad in the future.
Well, thanks for all the
Okay.
help.
No, thank you.
If there's anything else, please let us know. As we are
Alright.
now invested in this, as we have taken care of Wyatt.
All right.
Boys,
So,
where to next? Amadeus, what do you think we should do next?
Well, spoken to the god, the mayor, and Mrs. Bellatani. Should we head back to the inn?
It's getting rather late, and I'm pretty
And-
hungry, so...
And we promised Job that we wouldn't be too long.
Oh, where is he?
He waited outside.
Uh,
Is he still waiting outside?
I mean, I would say probably. You guys aren't outside, though.
We're gonna head outside. He wasn't let in, remember?
I thought we were already outside, but alright.
Oh,
Alright, so I guess we're going
we
down.
go outside. We go
Alright.
outside.
So you guys head outside and Job's still sort of leaning there against the wall, just sort of like idly kind of looking around. It's kind of like,
Job, I hope we went too long.
no, it's fine. You know, I just hanging out here, you know?
Well, everything's been settled. We'll be heading back into the inn. Let's go. Unless you have somewhere to go. If you don't, you can come with us.
Honestly, listen, I don't want to sound ungrateful or anything. You guys have been amazing, but I really I feel like I need to head back home.
Mhm.
Sort of face my folks, as it were.
Alrighty.
Well, good
We
luck
hope
with
to
that.
meet you. Hopefully we'll see you around town.
Yeah, I sure
So
hope
if-
so.
And hopefully you find something else to do other than your previous occupation.
Yeah, I guess it's back to farm work for old Job.
An honest life is better than a crooked one.
Yeah. After all, I've had enough adventure to last a lifetime, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but again, hopefully we'll see you again. We might even come visit you someday if we're back in the area. We're not sure where we're going, where our journey may take us.
I hope you do, friends. And with that, he kind of like waves to you and sort of like heads off.
Joe better become a recurring character, I swear to God, man.
Maybe.
If he does it, I'm gonna be so upset.
Who knows? Who knows what the fates have in store for old Job?
If you kill Job off screen, I'm gonna be so fucking mad.
Job died on the way to his home planet.
No. Editor's note, Job died on his way back to his own planet.
Yeah.
Whenever Job's not around, the other character should be asking, "Where's
Asking
Job?"
where's Job? Whenever Job's not on screen, every character should be asking where's Job. All right, so I am assuming you guys are heading over out to the inn.
Mm-hmm. It's been too long of a day, friends.
At least the crowd's dissipated from before.
Yes, and they're not bothering us.
All right, so you guys just sort of head into the inn. The innkeeper just kind of looks at you, just being like, "Ah, thought you three would never show up. Glad to see all three of you are walking this time." I shouldn't kid about that.
It's been too long.
Hmm.
Nice to see you again. How's
In the
business
bark.
been?
Yes, how have you been?
Ah, same as it's ever been.
Hmm.
Get people drinking here, people stumbling in after a night at Gabrielle's.
Gabrielle's,
way.
what's that?
Out of character, Gabrielle's. That's the brothel.
Oh, okay. Okay, I knew what that was. Alright.
The place we were kicked out from.
Well, you weren't kicked out. You just kind
Well,
of
we were persuaded.
you just kind of walked into a brothel and did nothing and then left. You walked into a brothel, acted awkward, and left.
That's the only really thing to do.
I guess that's true. For upstanding. I was about to call you guys upstanding good characters, but I feel like all of you are like neutral at best.
Hey,
Mirika might be good.
I'm a little good.
Mirika is actually true neutral.
Mirika's true neutral.
Amadeus is
Pikachu-
chaotic good at best.
Amadeus
I
strikes
can
me
get-
as lawful good, to be honest.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
though
I-
they set a bandit camp on fire?
Not just set a bandit camp on fire. Set a bandit camp on fire as option number 1.
Okay, that's true.
He's a little chaotic.
But in general, principles.
One thing we can agree on, though. Pikachu's a hard chaotic neutral.
Yeah,
Pikachu's a hard chaotic neutral.
yeah. He's unpredictable, but that's what makes it great.
He almost picked a fight with a mob.
They wanted the smoke.
So, dear sir, if I could ask, could I please have a nice, fine cup of tea and your heartiest meal?
Anyway.
I am starving.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mic cut out once more.
Ah!
Epic.
Ree. What were you gonna say?
I think he got out again.
Motherfucker!
Okay, he's actually cursed. Every time you mention it
It's
going
like-
out, it goes out right after.
Don't talk about it.
Hello? Can you guys hear
Yeah.
me?
Yes.
know.
Don't talk about it. It's cursed. Don't talk about it.
Oh my god. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
This is
Can
incredible.
you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you
Alright.
guys.
Don't talk about it. It's cursed.
I'll watch it in the VOD.
Okay. So, were you saying something?
Not really. I was just gonna ask, like, what the game plan is for you guys.
Well, Amadeus goes. I need, dear sir, can I please have a fine cup of tea and your heartiest meal? It's been a very, very long day.
And I'll have a bowl of berries, please.
Sure thing, you two.
What
Anything
about
I
you,
can
Miraca?
get, anything I can get for you, miss.
Miraca, you've been awfully quiet. Are you all right?
Has been quite a traumatizing trip, how does you?
You have to remember, Miraca's like young.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And a tea for her as well.
All right. So, Ol Innkeeper. I actually never came up with a name for this guy. Just sort of brings you in. Just sort of brings you. You know, he goes to the back for a moment, prepares the meal, kind of brings it out and sets it in front of you guys.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, I guess are you guys like packing it in for the night? Obviously, this isn't.
The end of the session now.
This isn't the end of the
But yeah,
session.
This
but
is
I think it
EOD
might-
for sure.
Yeah,
Everyone's.
I think we'll just say EOD. You guys kind of enjoy
What
your
was-
meal.
Yeah.
What was the
pack-
meal? I'm curious. What was the meal? I'm curious.
Oh, that's right. You just asked for something hearty.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say he was feeling generous, and he gave you a pretty substantial looking steak.
Amadeus just fucking tears into that, by the way.
I'm working on my.
That was a
pop.
solid pop. I'm proud of you. It's coming along.
I've been working on my pop.
We popping, boys. Alright, so is it next day now?
What's popping?
Oh!
Ugh!
Oh.
So you guys sort of wake up in your normal inn room, and are now going to discuss how to continue the what's the next thing you're gonna do with this day. Keep in mind, you do have a little bit of extra spending money, which might be a good thing. Not trying to lead you guys too much, but I would say that going to shops regularly is potentially going to be very good. Because sometimes between sessions, I think of cool items that I can sell to you guys.
Let's go. Should we? Actually, what should we? Like, this is in character. The captain didn't really tell us anything else.
Yeah,
He didn't.
You guys
I'd say that we should.
You guys don't quite have a lead on any new bandit camps. So it's
If
up
we-
to you to decide what other things
Now
to explore.
Now that we have a bit of free time, should we head up to the shops? Even if that lady did swindle me out of a bit of my money, she might have some useful items in stock.
Yeah, I'd agree. Let's look around the shops and then maybe head to Farber's after. and see if he's got anything new for us.
Alrighty.
We move.
Yeah, potions. That would be good.
Yeah. I think you guys have 1 2-dose.
I think we used one.
Yeah, you used one. You used 1 dose.
Okay.
But you guys are. But other than that, yeah.
All
All right. So you guys sort of you set off, and you head over to the market district, to what is now becoming a very familiar, gaudy-looking sign of a dragon. And
I ain't touching shit this time until I'm talking to her.
And you just sort of head in, and I'm gonna say it's early enough. Like, let's call it 9. Let's call it 9, so the shop is open.
Excuse me. Are you in?
So Miss Bridgman Miss Bridgman sort of pokes her head out from the back and just be like, "Oh, it's you 3. I was hoping you'd stop in. I found it. I found what you were looking for."
Oh.
What were we looking for by chance?
She approaches. She produces two sort of like rolled up pieces of parchment, and sort of sets them on the table. "I found some scrolls.
Ooh.
I finally found them." She sort of places her hand on one. She says, "I've got a scroll of accuracy, and I've got a scroll of doubling."
Oh, interesting. Are these one-use scrolls, or are these abilities that we can learn?
Okay, out of character DM time. I'm going to say that scrolls are going to apply... the scrolls are going to be 3-use items that will apply special effects to the next spell you cast.
Okay.
For instance, I'm going to... So, just for the sake of transparency and what you guys are buying, this time, I'm not going to do that with every scroll, but for these, just because it'll help me explain scrolls in general, I'm going to say the Scroll of Accuracy gives... you can use it to make any... You can use it to give a magic action from any school of magic, Force, Void, or Spirit. Get 1 lethal, which means it adds a success to your flip.
Okay.
Or I'm going to say the Scroll of Doubling gives the next spell 1 extra target, which means it can affect more than one thing.
Oh shit, that's actually pretty crazy.
But remember, there are 3 uses.
How much are these scrolls?
So Bridgman kind of like looks. Well, these are very powerful scrolls. Let's say 40 silver each. You 3 are such great customers. I think I could give you a price that good.
Can I roll a persuasion?
Are you haggling?
I'm haggling.
Hell yeah, buddy!
I got persuasion points. I gotta use them.
Dude, you're 4 charm. I can't believe you.
I got charm as well.
You're 4 charm. I can't believe you don't use it more.
You should be haggling like everything for us.
I was waiting for you to try and talk your way out of stuff.
Well, say, Miss, we've done so much for this village. I'd say
for this town.
Yeah. We cleared out the bandits. We cleared out the ones behind the ruthless.
We cleared out more
mountain
bandits.
Massacre. Can you, cause a little bit of a little deal here.
Charm persuasion.
Oh please, God Almighty, roll good.
6,
first flip
7.
of the day.
Bottom text, what?
Why
is bottom
text?
Who did this?
Yes.
Alright.
Yes.
3
Wait, Queen of Hearts. Queen of Hearts, that's a crit.
Oh my god. Alright, I guess I got a crit.
So, 3 face cards and 1 is a Queen of Hearts.
Wait, So Zedgent is 4 charm. So that means this is
Good God Almighty.
holy fuck. This is 7 successes.
That's oh my God.
That was not the time to use this.
You dive into an absolutely impassioned speech about how like 3 heroic strangers came to Connington and have single-handedly wiped out half of the horrible bandits.
While
You somehow
also...
you
Okay.
somehow correctly guess that that her husband died in the mountain massacre and convince her that you killed the man who did it.
Holy shit.
And doing this while looking like Puss in Boots from Shrek 2.
Yeah.
Cute face. So you got like the violin playing in the background. His eyes are big and his ears are down.
Miss Bridgman is legitimately moved to tears by your speech.
By the way, I just wanted like if it was a sight gag in the background, you just see Amadeus like facepalm because he's had such bad luck with this shopkeeper. So you just see him in the background like, oh god.
The two of you, despite knowing that some of this is outright lies, still wholeheartedly believe it.
A tear dropped. A tear drops from Amadeus's eyes.
Yeah. So
What in God's name?
once you're done, Adele sort of like wipes a tear from the corner of her eyes and just being like, I'm so sorry, you 3. I should know better than to put on my businesswoman face with heroes like you. Take the scrolls, please. They're on me.
God damn!
Just use them to avenge more of the fine folks of our town.
Thank you so much.
You guys,
Does
You know-
Pikachu
you know-
turn around at us with the back turned to her and then look smug at us?
No,
I don't know, does he?
I turn around and I just have the same vacant smile on my face.
God.
He's got that Sugamori art smile plastered on his face.
Can that carry over to just Amadeus politely asking, do you have any other items that you might think might be of use to us while we're here?
I'm gonna. Oh,
If not, that's okay.
I'm trying to think. Because he did get 7 success.
Like, he's not trying to get free stuff out of her. He just wants her to stop swindling him. As funny as it is, it's not fun for me when I have to pay for things I didn't exactly want.
There he is.
Oh yeah, that picture. There's
There
just like a
he is.
slow zoom in, by the way.
There
of
he
that
is.
face.
I'm gonna say she sort of produces like a small kind of like dagger and just sort of says, "Well, I suppose you could have this as well."
Oh, I wasn't asking for anything for free. I was just curious if you had anything for us.
No, please, it's on me. I know that it might not be much use to you 3, but I feel like it's the least I can do.
Amadeus will pocket the dagger and he'll look at it later.
All right.
Do you have any potions for sale that we may purchase from you? We will be purchasing these. We don't want to run you out of business.
Yes, of course. I think I still have 3 in stock. Those are the normal 20 silver price.
I forgot, what's the conversion rate? 100 silver?
It's World of Warcraft. 100 silver is 1 gold.
And 100 copper
And
is 1
100
silver?
copper is 1 silver. Yeah. It's
Okay.
it's World of Warcraft rules.
I gave parts of my paycheck to Job.
Also, I entirely forget your guys' money.
Oh, I do too.
Like 100% forget
I
it.
should start writing that down.
So I'm gonna say everyone's at 3 except for Amadeus because he
That's
gave
2
his
gold.
gold away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say everyone's at 3 except for Amadeus, and I'm gonna actually make a you guys can continue figuring out who's gonna pay or whatever. I'm just gonna make a note on my phone about what your gold is that I can update.
Nope, Joe puts that gold to good use.
So that's a lot of gold for a farmer.
Well, you know what? He's a good man. He's Job.
Oh, use.
I mean, you could purchase them and then hand them off to someone, I assume.
I think actually the book actually mentioned something this where they said you can use either what was it? I think it was brawn athletics to like in combat it's brawn athletics to throw an item to another person, and it is agility stealth to sneakily hand it off. I feel like, although I will feel like if you're close enough, I feel like you can just, I don't know if I really necessarily agree with doing that.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. If it seems too broken for you guys to just like freely exchange items between each other, I might instill some sort of.
Well, out of
flip.
combat, that shouldn't be a problem.
Well, out of combat, there's definitely not going to be any card flips because you guys aren't in any real danger.
Mm-hmm.
But in combat, if like freely swapping items seems too broken, I might balance it as it goes. So anyway, you guys decide who's paying?
I'll pay.
Okay. So you're buying. So how many are you buying?
How many is there?
There's 3.
And how much are they?
20 silver each.
I'll buy 2.
Okay.
And I don't know how much money I had before, but I guess just say 2 gold for now.
I'm putting you all at 3 gold except
Alright,
except for Cynical, since he gave one of his gold off just now. I'm gonna say somehow through some miraculous math of, bar tips, you guys ended up with like exact change, like 1 gold before you got paid for this mission. Just because that is a lot easier for my dumbass to do.
I'm gonna wait for GB
Okay.
to stop typing first.
Yeah, I see EG was writing something as well. So if you're gonna pay for that. So that puts Pikachu at 2 gold, 60 silver. Amadeus at 2 gold exactly. Mirica 3 gold exactly.
So now I've got 2 potions.
Yeah, Pikachu. You can add 2 potions to your.
I'll give one
useful
to
items.
Cynical Amadeus.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so you add. Okay, so Amadeus adds 1 potion to his inventory in useful items. Pikachu adds 1 as well. And you can write a little 3 next to it to indicate that they're.
Okay.
GB, I think one of the scrolls was +1 lethal to spells, and the other one was
Yeah,
+1
there's a-
target to spells.
Oh yeah, that's right. Pikachu, you need to add you just add like accuracy scroll and double scroll. Accuracy scroll is +1 lethal to the spell you cast it with, and double is +1 extra target.
Got ya. Murica, yes. That's probably a good shout. You do have one of the most OP spells in our party, so I'm inclined to give this to you.
Yeah, Mirica's healing is pretty good.
Alright, is there anything else from this shop?
I'm gonna say that's it.
Alright, so we'll head out.
Thank you kindly, miss. Your contribution to our party's inventory will more than definitely help us liberate this city from the bandit problem.
Okay.
Okay. She doesn't say anything?
Oh, my bad. She's like, I do hope it does. What?
Sorry, my cat started scratching at my bed. Fuck!
Oh. I thought you were talking to me.
Be right back.
Jibu, each potion is 3 uses. Each use is heal 2 health. The one you're carrying has 2 uses left because you used one to revive Amadeus from unconsciousness. But the new ones are both at full 3.
So we're back in the marketplace.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Cats,
you
man.
guys are now. Oh, I know. Believe me, cynical. I know. So yeah, you guys are standing in the market square outside of Bridgman's Horde.
Let's head to the armor shop. We haven't been there since before going on our quest. Let's see if he's got anything new for us.
What was that?
The armor shop.
Smithy.
Oh, the armor
Smithy.
shop, yes.
So we go in.
Yep.
Oh. Hello?
I'm here.
There we go. There we go.
Hey.
Okay. So yeah. So you guys are gonna head over to the smithy.
We're heading in.
So you sort of walk into it, and the dwarven blacksmith sort of is like hammering away at what looks like a sword, and he just kind of looks up and smiles at you. Oh there, lads! Come in, come in.
Hello there.
Hello.
Glad to see the 3 of you no worse for wear. Hope I had something to do with that.
Sir, your tail improvement was vital to our latest expedition. Helps
I'm
out a
glad to
lot.
hear it.
It's been a little heavy, but I'm getting used to it already.
I hope you are. Hope you are.
So, how about new wares? Have you got anything new in since we've last seen you?
Well, just what's on display, I suppose. Sort of look around, and there's like various sort of like swords and maces and axes hanging from the walls, and there's suits of armor just kind of suits of armor on racks, just sort of looking very impressive and well polished.
Oh, Amadeus can be like, excuse me, this is a bit of a long shot, but is this dagger enhanced in any way? The shopkeep down the street sold it to us. If not, that's fine. I'm just curious.
So he sort of like he takes the dagger and kind of like examines it, kind of like does some like sort of like the slashing and stabbing motions in the air with it. Well, besides the fact that it's rather well made, I wouldn't say there's really much of note of it.
Thank you. Again, I wasn't expecting much, but she gave it to us as a gift, so I was curious.
That woman gave you a gift? Huh! I guess hell finally has frozen over.
You're not on good terms with her?
Oh, she's a fine woman, but a stingy one at that.
Stingy, interesting.
Well, most smart businessmen are. Not that it's funny, you wouldn't take, with her obsession with magical items, you wouldn't take her for a smart businessman until you try and organize a deal to get your goods in her shop. Either way, it's a fairly nice if fairly simple dagger.
Well, thank you again for looking it over, just in... Your armor also proved effective in helping me. Your leather armor.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it.
Um,
I get that armor from a fellow of mine in the. I get that armor from a fellow of mine in the capital.
oh.
Elven man makes some fantastic leather wares. If you're ever in the city, you should seek him out.
As adventurers, we will most likely cross paths with the capital at some point.
Which direction is the capital from here? Out of interest.
Oh, it's farther north. You go around the mountain range, and you go around the mountain, and head quite a few miles north from there, even. And the capital is smack dab in the middle of the continent.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
So anyway, I suppose you didn't come in here to have me talk your ear off. If you see anything you like, let me know.
I know that you primarily deal with the metals, but just out of curiosity, just in case you have gotten anything, do you have anything that is stronger than the current leather armor that I'm wearing, just for extra defense? If not, this armor is doing just fine. But if there's a chance there's something a bit better, I would rather be on the safe side.
Can't say as I do, necessarily.
That's fine. Can I borrow one of your tables for a bit? I wish to study this dagger to see if there's any magical enchantments on it.
Oh, it's free. Feel free. The tables are open.
Thank you. And can I do like a search while I'm talking D&D turn? Can I do like an Arcana?
Yeah.
Check to see if there's anything magical about the dagger.
Yeah, of course. Intelligence Arcana.
All right. And I get that +1 card because I'm at full health, right?
Yes, you do.
Just making sure.
Wow, you don't have bottom text.
One face card, but at least I didn't Joker. Like last time. When I tried scanning the staff.
Text.
Why does it say text?
We're texting up. Bottom. Bottom text on the top?
Top text, bottom text.
We all get bottom text.
So one face card, did I get anything? Did I notice anything?
You studied the dagger for a little bit. You almost feel something, but you kind of decide it was probably the wind.
Odes kind of has like an inquisitive face, and he's just going to pocket the dagger.
Hey, this might be a long shot, but do you have any armor that would be suitable for someone of my stature?
That was not a character laugh.
He sort of like he sort of looks at you for a bit and kind of just sort of Well, give me a moment. He sort of searches. He sort of like scans around and kind of looks in the back for a little bit. Just kind of he sort of produces sort of like he produces like a sort of like a chainmail coif. I don't know how to pronounce that word. A coif. COIF.
Right.
That is a bit on the small side. You just kind of like, well, this chain turned out a bit small. Perhaps it could fit. Might be a little bit of overlap, but hopefully not too much to hinder you.
We try it on.
It fits surprisingly well. There is it does hang down past your shoulders, or the closest thing Pikachu has to shoulders. But that's almost a good thing.
You have quite the knack for making this.
We had a halfling traveler in once who commissioned that and then left town before he could even pick it up. It's been sitting in the shop ever since. No one in town is trying to buy a chainmail coif 3 sizes too small.
So how much will this cost?
I had almost forgotten about it back there until you brought it up.
I know this is a custom commission and all, but how much will this cost? Can I do another haggle?
Well, hold on. Let's have him name his price.
Alright.
Oh, that idiot is probably not going to be picking that thing up anytime soon. How's 60 silver sound for it?
Ooh, it is a good price, but can I roll for thingy?
You may. I want you to I kind of want you to okay, hold on. Before you flip, like get the cards ready. But before you flip, I want you to sort of like say your piece of like of how you want it to come out. And then based on your successes, I'll determine how it comes out.
Okay, I guess down to like, let's say 45 silver.
Okay.
Because it is a piece of armor, so.
Alright.
Okay.
Two successes. Okay. So you kind of explain, just sort of. You just do like sort of like a standard haggle of just sort of like, well, it's not a bad price, but I feel like 45 would be closer to what I want. And he sort of he strokes his chin, sort of strokes his beard a little bit, just kind of. Well, 45 is a little low, but you are doing me a favor, I suppose. So I guess I could meet you in the middle at 50.
50 sounds good. It's a deal.
All right. So you are down to 210 gold, and you gain a tiny chainmail, and that's gonna give you +1 interference to melee attacks.
Nice. Do I need to make a note of that anywhere on my card?
I would.
Are you taking
I would.
Alright.
I mean, I sort of am keeping a tally of your guys' useful items in my head, but I'm not really like editing your guys' character sheets for myself. So if you guys are inclined to do that, it helps me out for sure.
I guess Cynical's AFK.
I guess so. Is he muted?
And deafened.
Damn, bro.
I mean, I guess we can head out of this shop if there's nothing else for him to do.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
So what other shops are there?
I mean,
Are there any?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Well, if there's no others, we can just move on anyway.
I kind of boiled things down to 2 shops.
I mean, I think we stocked up
anyway
anyway.
for you guys.
Yeah, it is. We don't want to spend too much time here anyway.
Yeah. I didn't flesh out the market quarter like that much because I just sort of.
I don't think
figured,
you needed it. Yeah.
That's the thing. I figured having a couple places to. I figured like having 2 places to stop would be fine.
Sorry, I had to AFK for a second. What happened?
I bought some tiny chainmail, and there's nothing else really for
He
us to do in
he
this
bought a
market.
tiny chainmail of what was supposed to be a helmet for a halfling, but on him is almost like just a chainmail armor.
That's adorable.
So now we're kind of just moving out because there's nothing else to do. So I guess we're going to Father's now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So is the crowd still there?
No, the crowd is now dissipated. It's business. It sort of seems business as usual out in the front.
Alright. So I guess we knock on and head in.
Mhm.
So you guys sort of head in, and you just see Farber sort of sitting at his desk, sort of mulling over some papers. And he just sort of sees you walk in, and he just, Oh, hello, the two of you. Hello, the three of you.
Morning,
good day.
Captain.
Morning. Pardon me for the mess. I've just sort of been combing through reports, trying to look for Neil. He really hasn't been sighted in a. He really hasn't. It really seems like there hasn't been a single sighting of him since the massacre so long ago.
How long ago was the
Neil?
massacre?
Neil is the bandit leader. When you guys were
Oh,
talking
yeah.
with Garen and stuff, you can't even blame that on me. That was
Yeah,
that session. That was this session. you
Even
were
I remember
introduced to
that.
him.
Come on.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just dumb.
So how long ago was the mountain massacre?
Must have been about a year at this point. Really was some nasty business. I hope you do realize how much I appreciate what you're doing for me. Clearing out those bandits, especially the ones in the mountain camp there who are almost certainly involved, means a lot to me.
It's no problem.
Means a lot to all of us.
So while we're on the topic, have you got any more leads for us? Because we're kind of at a loss as to where we're going to go next.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite at the moment, but... Say, have you seen Malcolm anywhere? My lieutenant, I'm not sure if you remember.
Not in a while.
That would make all of us in the same boat then. I don't suppose you could look around for him.
Sure thing. Do you know what he was doing last?
Mm-hmm.
Hard to say. If I'm being entirely honest, I haven't been keeping the best tabs on the comings and goings of the office. What with the bandit problem and the election looming. I suppose maybe check his room. It's close. It's a bit farther here. There's a bit farther here. There's sort of the officers' barracks.
Alright, sounds good. Head over there. See you around.
I'll be seeing you. So you kind of you approach a fairly nice looking building compared to some of the other sort of just sort of plain kind of utilitarian buildings in the guard that are kind of commonplace in the guard quarter. And you sort of you sort of are going to approach the door and are sort of stopped by a guard for a moment before you head in. Hey, you three.
Hello.
Sorry to say, I can't quite let you in there.
What's the issue?
Well, I've got orders from the lieutenant himself to not let outside folks in the officers' quarters. He
Is there
thinks
something
that
going
it's
on?
well, don't tell me you haven't seen the protests. It's such a crazy place. Town's been so crazy. He kind of wants to keep outsider access to a minimum, and unfortunately, that means also adventurer friends of farmers. Believe me, I asked about you, and he was pretty clear that you guys were to be treated like normal citizens in this regard.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I don't really know what to say here. I guess pass on that we've been looking for him.
We'll do. I mean, it's not weird. It's not weird at all that this guy knows that this guy has seen Malcolm and not the captain, but okay. That's not weird to you guys at all.
Oh.
shit. Hold up. It's rewind time. So wait, what should we do? I'm a little
I mean, I don't know. You guys
brain fuddled
could.
at a moment.
Say, how do you
Guys-
know Malcolm's status while the captain is uninformed?
Captain's uninformed.
The captain
Huh.
has been looking for,
He has no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's strange. I have seen Malcolm come and go out of his quarters a number of times.
Is Malcolm the person we're looking for?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little. Yeah, it's really the captain seems to. The captain says he's been missing since the massacre, the mountain massacre.
But not the mountain massacre.
Oh.
Malcolm's the his like lieutenant, his like second in command.
Yeah, but when did he say he's been missing since?
He just said he hadn't seen him in a couple of days.
The captain says he hasn't seen Malcolm in a couple of days, and he's tasked us to finding him.
Huh. Well, I'm not sure where he's been then. I suppose maybe ask around town.
All right. Thank you for this information.
I would say if you're looking for rumors, you know, as seedy as it is, Gabrielle's is probably the place to go.
Is that the brothel?
It is.
Oh joy! Another excuse to go to the brothel.
Oh joy.
Thank you. Thank you for the leads. We shall be on our way. And if you do see Malcolm, tell him to check in with the captain.
Oh, we'll do for sure.
Tell him the captain's definitely looking for him. This is a bit strange. All right, back to that establishment then. With the yellow rat, the teenage mage, and the young girl.
The dream
We had.
team.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Zedge?
The dream team.
The dream team.
Dreamwork makes the team work. No, I had that backwards. Teamwork makes the dream work. God fucking damn it! I'm sorry, I'm having like a brain fart today.
All right.
So we head to Gabriella's.
Yep.
We move.
We move in.
We're
We need a picture of all three characters like walking towards the focal point and be like, we're coming to beat you to death.
we're schmoving.
We are on our way to beat you to death, that's it.
Our D&D party schmoving. Oh.
We're heading to the fine establishment known as Gabriella's.
We do.
Oh boy.
I'll go first. Let the real man handle this.
Yes, please take over. I'm still somewhat confused on what this establishment. God fucking
Oh, wait,
I
actually,
forgot.
hold on. I need to actually clear it because I just added that to the queue. I didn't.
There we go. This is basically like the 18 plus version of like a cantina theme for this place.
Oh my god. I can't. This is literally our cantina theme.
God fucking damn it. We head in Pikachu's first.
Good
Amadeus is trying to avoid eye contact with people.
So, you know, you walk in, and you notice the place is a bit empty.
Well, it's early in the morning. We came here in the morning last time.
You did. I'm gonna say it's more the afternoon at this point.
Oh, it's surprisingly empty. Well, oh no, people gotta get off work and then they come over here.
Yeah, it's
I've
still
turned
morning.
Groovybot. I just have to turn Groovybot down because
Yeah, this is a little bit loud, actually.
but it's good for ambiance.
It is. So, you notice the place is a bit empty, but sort of what almost looks like a backroom door is kind of like just like open.
I call out.
that's
Hello?
nice.
Anyone in?
You don't hear much of a response.
Well, I guess we
Sure.
should just head in.
Is there employees or? Okay, yeah, let's just head in. Amadeus has like his hood like pulled down even further on his face. He's like, I don't understand this place.
So you guys sort of head into what sort of looks like a. You guys sort of head in to what more or less sort of looks like a sort of back room kind of area, and it kind of goes down like quite a ways. It seems like they take security like pretty seriously here.
Makes sense.
There's quite a few sort of like just like pretty sturdy looking wooden doors in kind of sort of a place that's kind of like it's lit with sort of a almost like sort of like fairly like faintly magical torches just made to sort of have the flames give off more of like a sort of dull purple and pink kind of glow. So you guys, I don't know, what do you want to do? Do you want to sort of like explore? Do you want to check out the different rooms?
Let's check out the closest room to us.
All right. You wiggle the door handle and find it to be fairly locked.
You gonna kick it down, Pikachu?
I don't want to destroy this fine establishment. Let's move on to the next door, see if there's any unlocked ones.
I'm gonna say if you want to investigate for a door that's unlocked, I'm gonna say
Yeah, I'll
just throw me someone throw me a wit investigate.
I have
trying to
0
find a way to
investigation or wit.
I'm trying to find a way to naturally lead into it, but I can't quite.
I have 2 wit and 2 investigation.
Alright, go ahead.
Oh wait, Jibu's typing. I think. Yeah, and I think Mirka has the best stat for this. I think we found that out last time.
Yeah, I know that Mirka has 4 wit. I forget if Jibu put any points in investigation. I forget if Jibu put investigation.
Yeah, 4 wit, 2
think-
Oh, he did. Oh,
investigation.
he did. Yeah, he flips.
Oh, the icon's changed.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
All right, I know exactly how to do.
I
Thank
do like
you.
how the
Oh,
icon's been updated. The icon was updated.
I do like the icon update. It's really nice. All right, thank you, Joker. So, Jibu, you kind of like explore around for a while until eventually you sort of just get to sort of the end of the hallway, and you're sort of feeling around the ground for a while. And then you sort of like you think you feel something sort of unusual with like the wooden floor, so you kind of search it like very thoroughly, and then you hear a click as you fall through a trapdoor.
Oh my god.
You're gonna take 1 damage on the fall, and I'm gonna say that can't be dodged.
Oof.
That can't be dodged.
It can't be dodged.
You can't dodge
Can
a
or
fall.
Okay.
You can't dodge falling on your face.
All right. Fuck. Now I'm at 2 health.
No, I thought Mirka was investigating.
Oh. I thought it
Oh
was
right,
all-
it's just her. Okay.
the hallway. Just give the entire hallway. Just give them.
No, it's one hell of a trapdoor. But no, it's
Mirka, are you okay?
Is there anything down there?
Do you need a light spell?
I'm gonna say that Mirka does. I'm gonna say Mirka's gonna look around and find that this place is a lot better. Is a lot better lit than. Well, not really better. It's just lit more naturally with like more natural torches in the other place. So it's definitely it's well lit. But Jibu, sort of like as you Mirka, sort of your fall like sort of after you like impact with the ground, you kind of like hear a bit of like motion behind sort of a door that's a bit in front of you. And it opens, and you see... Now, granted, you guys don't remember this character, but it's fine because they were never properly introduced. You see a character... You see sort of like the... Sort of like muscly-looking sort of guard-esque woman from before, like, that you saw on your first visit, sort of talking with the brothel owner. Just kind of like... sort of like walk up and just sort of give you a look, sort of like... She just gives you sort of like a very sort of incredulous look, and she just says, "What the fuck are you doing down here?"
Is she talking specifically to Jibu?
Well, she couldn't be talking to she couldn't be talking to anyone else.
Okay, shit. We just came in here for rumors, man.
Brothel music stops.
Dun dun da 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 da. No.
So,
America,
right.
Is there something wrong down there? Out of character, I am calling to let the NPC know of our presence as well.
So she sort of looks up and she's sort of like, "All three of you. I knew something was up," she says as she sort of like starts to crack her knuckles.
Oh god.
Someone's down there. Pikachu, what should we do? How...
I just leap straight headfirst into the hole.
I'm gonna say if you guys want to jump down here, I'm not gonna make you
take damage.
No. I'm gonna say
we're able to brace for it.
Yeah, Mirka's was a surprise.
Well, you know what? You've asked too many questions. Both of you flip one card if you're jumping down.
I'm sorry.
Hey.
Oh.
Okay. No jokers. So you guys take no damage.
But the Amadeus kind of just falls on his ass.
I got a face card, so I like do a flip and like.
No, you land very great. You land very graceful. Amadeus lands probably the way a mage would land, doing something athletic. As she sort of sees the three of you now, she kind of like sort of fists ready. She kind of barks at you like, "Explain yourselves now."
Well, no one was in the brothel, and we just came here looking for rumors about the lieutenant.
I think you're the one who needs to do some explaining.
Yeah,
threatening
what's with the trapdoor?
A young girl.
Now, I may not be familiar with brothels, but do they usually have trapdoors?
No. You're not the one asking. You're not the one. You're not.
Oh, we most certainly are.
Fine then.
All right, you want the smoke or no?
Just let her talk. She was gonna start talking. God damn it!
I'm gonna tell you. The only question you're gonna be asking is, pretty soon. The only question you're gonna be asking is, why the fuck did I come down here? She says as she readies. She says as she sort of readies her fists and initiates combat.
Let's go.
I don't want to kill her, so I don't know what to do.
What the fuck?
I could probably just slam her to a wall with wind attacks.
All right.
So whose first turn is it?
Wait, so what's the setting of this, like, place? Is it a big
What kind
room
of in a hall?
or
Are
what?
we in a hallway or something?
It's just kind of like, it's sort of just like a very kind of like,
You cut
it's almost like it's sort of like a small kind of undecorated basement, and she's sort of
Right.
guarding like a very simple door sort of behind her.
Okay.
I am making the.
Oh, and I'm gonna say, oh wait, I forget. I forget what I made her initiative. I can pull it up.
Whoa! How do I get rid of these things?
Actually, you know what I'm gonna do?
No, how do I get?
Once I know her initiative, I'm going to start this again.
Sorry,
Sorry,
guys. I was trying to get rid of the board. I am making a little. Wait, there's more people down here? Oh no, you're just helping with the wall stuff. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I don't think you'll have to worry about like walls in this one. I wouldn't worry about.
Well, they're here
Like,
now, so...
Unless you wanna. Okay.
Alright, we're
that's the
good, we're
door.
good, we're good.
Okay.
That's the door.
So, Amadeus, flip one card
Aww.
because you're initiative tied. It's to see
Okay.
who's going first.
I drew not a face card.
Well, show me what. Wait,
8.
8. Okay. So she.
God damn it.
She kind of lunges forward at a. She lunges forward. Sort of. I'm gonna say she lunges forward at Mirika just because she's sort of in the middle.
Did you cut out again?
No, I'm here. I'm just flipping.
Oh, okay.
So she throws a punch at you, America, and it kind of it sort of misses you entirely, and it kind of collides with the wall in front. And it sort of collides with the wall on the other side of you guys, and she just sort of like recoils back after her like fist. Surprisingly, pretty scary, leaving like a pretty scary like actual like crack in the wall in the stone wall, but she sort of like has to shake her hand off because she sort of just sent a punch going straight into the wall. Okay, and so now it's gonna be Amadeus's turn.
Amadeus kind of goes, we're not going, we don't want to hurt you, but if you insist, then we'll have to probably knock some manners into you. And Amadeus is gonna angle himself, so he's going to use a wind blast attack to send her like flying this way, so he's not hitting anyone. Like
Okay.
send her flying diagonally into
Alright.
the wall.
Yeah, wit, or not wit,
Intelligence.
force.
1, 2, 3. Ooh!
Oh man.
4 face cards. No, he's doing it non-lethally, which is why he chose wind over every other element. Just, making that clear.
So, by non-lethally... Okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind. I'm gonna say...
So we're keeping her
You
alive?
sort of... I'm gonna say
Yeah?
you...
Like, we don't know the full context, and we don't want to start murdering random people in town.
True.
You sort of send a burst of wind her way that sort of knocks her clean over Mirika and kind of has her sort of collide into this back wall here. And she kind of like... She's on the ground for like a second, but then she sort of, staggers back up.
Remember, we're adventurers, not murderers, so, try to not be too aggressive. He's saying to his teammates. He's more saying that to Pikachu because Pikachu's a wild card.
All right. Oh, actually, everyone who hasn't gone yet, flip one card. Okay. Okay, so in that case, I was just trying to find the best way to add this in. I've got too many tabs. Okay, so one success. So the three of you are kind of so as the three of you are kind of like talking amongst themselves, you sort of like why did it play this again? Why did it play this song again?
I'm not against it.
I suppose it doesn't matter. This is a good song. So you guys sort of like very faintly hear something, and then you sort of look back to see a figure kind of like darting down the trap door and heading right for you, Amadeus. You got 1 damage coming your way, which I assume you're dodging.
Yeah.
So you sort of like pretty adeptly sort of evade out of the way, and the figure kind of like lands on the ground, sort of. Hold on, where's another? I'm gonna give him the red. Sort of lands on the ground, kind of here, and he sort of stands up and turns, and you see it's the sort of and you see it is the male escort you guys saw last time. Kind of like with a dagger in hand, kind of like. Sort of like he sort of like turns to face you guys, and then sort of cranes his head back towards the other person. And just goes, Effie, come on. You were gonna try and fight all three of these guys by yourself? She just sort of like barks like, well, you kind of took your time showing up there, G. Well, I'm here now. You guys have another fighter on your hands.
Alright.
And it is now Mirika's turn.
Blinding light, cool.
Let's try and blind the new guy. Okay, this is cool. All right, go for it. That's gonna be. Yeah, let's make that intelligence and spirit.
Finally, Mirika gets to have a turn where she's not healing one of us.
I know.
Oh, Queen of Hearts. And a Joker!
Queen
Oh!
of Hearts
and like 5 successes. What?
Wait, so Queen of Hearts, Joker. What's your charm again?
Eat.
Okay, so I'm gonna say.
You just blind everyone in the room?
Yes. I'm gonna say your quickly look away falls on pretty much deaf ears as everyone in the room is gonna be blinded for 2 turns. And just because everyone is blinded, I'm gonna say instead of not being able to target people because like you're blind, I'm gonna say anything that requires a target is gonna have 2 interference no matter what it is. Anything that requires like sight to do is going to get 2 interference, is gonna flip 2 less cards for the next 2 turns.
I already have an idea.
I shout towards him. I don't know who you are, but I'm prepared to use self-defense and knock you guys out if...
And then for the visual, Pikachu's talking to a wall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pikachu yells this in Mirika's face.
He's got like his fists up, like he's ready to go. Like, yeah, you want some of this, huh?
All right, so Pikachu, that makes it your turn.
I kind of I guess I'll just shoot a lightning bolt in their direction.
All right. So that's going to be Brawn Force -2.
So 8 + 1 because I'm healthy. -2.
All right,
So
I'm clearing
6.
this. All right, we're not playing this 3 times in a row. I'm clearing and putting the actual.
Oh no!
Oh shit!
This is where the party dies by their own hand.
Wait, what was it?
I got a Joker and 3 faces.
A Joker and 3 faces. Okay. A Joker and 3 faces. I'm gonna say for 3 faces, I'm gonna say you shoot a lightning bolt, and it just kind of like collides with the trap door, and sort of like seems to kind of like just sort of shut and lock the mechanism. So there's kind of no way out of this room now.
God.
And it's now going to be the new guy, this G, just so you guys know, this guy is dressed in what is almost leather armor, but it's pretty much just covering like his crotch and like part of his chest.
Thank God we're blind.
He is gonna take. He's gonna take a spin random. He's gonna take a spin randomly. Actually, I spun. Let's say 1 to 2 is 1 to 2 Amadeus, 3 to 4 is Miraca, 5 to 6 is Pikachu. All right, so he kind of he whips a dagger from like his belt in Amadeus's direction. Oh shit! Oh, fuck! You've got somehow, despite being blinded, he kind of manages to make out sort of like a vague shape of something and just whips a dagger at it. You've got 3 damage coming your way.
Can someone do a little help?
Or actually, you know what? You've got 1 damage coming your way. I forgot that you have 1 interference to melee.
Okay. I'll
I'll
take another dodge, I guess.
Or wait, no, not 1 damage. It's 2 damage. I'm sorry, it's 2 damage.
Fuck, I don't know. Can I have a little help then? Anyone?
Yeah, I mean I can, but can I if I'm blind?
Yeah, I'm gonna say. Here's the thing. I'm gonna say you don't have to jump at it. I'm gonna say if you say you're gonna give him a little help, I'm gonna say the target was you instead.
All right.
So I'm just gonna retcon it and say that he.
I kind of distract him and say over here. And then he's like.
Yeah. So you sort of call out over here, and it's sort of a. Oh, you know what? I think is the queue looping? Oh, probably doesn't matter. Oh, there. Okay, it was looping. That's why it was playing one. That's why I was only playing one. But anyway, so yeah, he sort of whips a dagger. You take 2 damage, which brings you to 10. And then because Effie beat Cynical in the speed tie, she also goes now.
Thanks for the help, Pikachu.
All right. So she's. Oh my god. She is like sort of like whipping around trying to tell who to fight, and as G as he was called earlier, kind of like sort of brushes his shoulder against her, almost like instinctively she like makes sort of like a wild swing in his direction that goes completely wide, but because he sort of like dodges out of the way quickly, but he's kind of like, for God's sake, F, I know you're blind, but come on, I managed to hit something. All right, and now it's going to be Amadeus's turn.
Okay, so Amadeus is like, I might not need eyes for this, but everyone stand back, but you two stand behind me. And Amadeus goes like this. He's gonna try and stumble. I don't know.
Okay.
And he's going-
I'm gonna say you definitely stumble. Even if you weren't trying to, you definitely stumbled.
And he's gonna put both hands on the ground, and he's gonna try and send a wave of like a tremor or earthquake forward, not behind him. He doesn't have to particularly aim for that. Almost like a cone sort of thing, where it's like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
He doesn't have to really aim at someone for that. He just has to know that he's kind of like, I don't know.
All right, that's fine. You can do that, and if you get a suitable number of successes, I'll spin to determine who the target ends up being. So
Oh,
that's gonna be 7 cards.
Okay. Oh no!
What
Epic.
the fuck?
Epic. The epic double joker. Can we use the anti-joker on?
Awful.
You can use an anti-joker on one of them.
Well, I'll take 1 over 2.
Okay.
2, I just collapse. Oh, and Jibu says she's going to purify.
Okay. I mean, was this... Alright, go for it. I will let you guys know that he got no successes, in addition to the 2 jokers.
That's fine.
2
All right.
jokers, I might have taken the whole place down.
You might have. But instead, I'm just gonna say that... So what were you're trying to make, like, a wave? Of
Like an earthquake heading forward in a cone.
Okay. I'm gonna say you sort of like put your hands to the ground and you create an earthquake sort of like just around yourself that sort of knocks you to the ground. I'm gonna say that you're just sort of you're just kind of like you sort of just lose this turn for now because you're just kind of like sort of like standing on an extremely shaky patch of ground that you made for yourself.
Well,
And that's going to make it Mirika's turn. Okay, Intelligence Spirit. Yeah, that's a pretty good barrier. I'm gonna say you make sort of like a small bubble. You make sort of like a small glowing bubble around yourself.
My turn?
hey, at least I got those jokers out of the way, though.
Yeah, that's for sure.
My turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
I try and do a strike at the kneecaps of the guy who just attacked me.
Okay.
Is it still interference?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the last turn for
Brawn
interference.
melee.
Yeah, this is the last turn for it. So you're doing a melee?
Yeah, brawn
So
melee.
that would be 3
Yeah.
for brawn melee.
Alright.
You try and take a swing in the general direction you thought the knife went, but it kind of goes nowhere. Because you're having so much trouble seeing, it's very difficult to judge the distance of the throw. So you kind of go like halfway and sort of like swing it out, and then just kind of like it doesn't collide with anything.
Got you.
So I believe everyone is unblinded now. Correct?
It's fine by me.
Oh, yep.
Alright. So, this guy kind of blinks his eyes for a moment. Jibu, you're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me, but I swear to God, I made this character do this before the start of this. He sort of reaches into a pouch on his belt. And Okay, well, we lucked out. He reaches into a pouch on his belt and throws like just a small sort of like almost like orb that sort of like collides with your barrier and breaks into a burst of light that thankfully you guys are all still kind of like still sort of like blinking and like sort of unblinding yourselves. It doesn't really affect you.
All right.
When I made this fight, I made it so that guy, his first turn is blinding someone. But then I decided he wasn't going to try and blind someone while we were blind. Okay, and then I'm going to say that now it's going to be the Effie's turn. Oh man. So I'm going to say she tries to take a punch at you, Amadeus.
Mm-hmm.
But you sort of like are still she's still a bit sluggish with her aim, and you're kind of like adjusting to the light a bit quicker than her. So you're able to sort of like dodge out of the way of her otherwise fairly inaccurate punch. Although you do sort of feel like almost like an air current. Like she's punching with like pretty intense force.
Is she? Now it's my turn. Is she like right up against me because she tried punching me?
Yeah, she's kind of up in your face now.
Amadeus puts his hand out, and he does another wind blast.
Okay. So is this like a strictly pushing one again?
Yeah, but it's just funny because it's like she's right up in his face, and he just puts his hand out, and then wind just starts flying out of his palm. So I'm at full health.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be right back quickly.
Oh, and I wasn't gonna do this while you were blind, but flip 2 less cards because if you're targeting her, because she has interference.
Okay,
She has 2 interference.
So, okay. Wait, no, 7.
Yeah, that's 7.
Okay, 3 face cards.
All right.
Again, he's not trying to kill her. He's just trying to
3
incapacitate.
3 face cards is enough to sort of like get her out of your face.
Does she take damage at all? Like, does she like go against the wall or anything like that? Because again, he's trying to incapacitate her, but he's not trying to kill her. I don't
I'm gonna say with 3, she has enough footing to kind of like stop herself before she collides with the this time.
All right.
All right. It's now Mirika's turn. Okay. Intelligence and force. Or not force. Spirit. I think we determined that that's spirit. Alright, I'm gonna say that's good enough to end him. So the next turn he makes is he's gonna have a little. Oh, just in time. It's your turn.
I didn't do any damage because again, I'm not. She blinded G.
Mirika put a 1 turn of blind on G, the assassin. Okay. No, you're at 10. That's 2 above your injured threshold. So you go for you make the same. You make it all the way to him, but he pretty adeptly manages to kind of evade it, even eyesight kind of hampered. And now he did know that you were there, so he's gonna try and Ooh. Okay, so he sort of like by like how close your attack came, he kind of realized, even like mostly blinded, that you were like right in front of him. So he just sort of like takes his dagger and almost tries to like plunge down onto it, and it does connect with you for 3 damage.
Alright. Wait, do I get the the tiny mail? The tiny chainmail?
No, yeah, make that 1 damage because he was supposed to flip 1 less card there.
Okay, cool. So I'm at 9 now.
All right. I think Effie is going to once again try and swing at you, Cynical. I think she's getting a little bit pissed that all you're doing is like pushing her away. Oh, and she sort of like lunges forward and sort of connects a fist, sort of, but she sort of connects forward and sort of like connects a fist sort of like right into your gut, just kind of and just sort of like connects a fist right into your gut, and like sort of as she does it is just kind of barks at you like, you're not getting out of here without a fight. So act like it. So you've got a 3 damage.
Oh. I don't know what to do.
Or actually, we can make that 2 damage. Forgot that I keep forgetting that you have for melee. So I think you still have 1 dodge, so you can put that down to 1.
Okay, I'll take 1 hit.
Okay.
She needs to fuck off, though. That's me saying that out of character.
She's mad.
I know.
Whatever's behind that door, she does not want you to see. Alright, and then it's gonna be your turn now.
Amadeus kind of like, he gets the wind knocked out of him. He stumbles back a bit. Not too far, because I have an idea. He's still close, and then he puts 2 fingers up against her neck and uses an ice spell to try and like, not kill her, but like, again, incapacitate her, or
Okay.
So he goes, fine then, we'll treat this like a fight. And then he just literally 2 fingers on her neck, and then ice just starts coalescing. So how many cards is that?
That's gonna be 7.
Okay. Queen of Hearts.
Ooh.
Oh shit. Oh my god. Holy shit.
Again, he's just trying to incapacitate. He's not going for a kill.
So you're how many charm? Are you 1 or 2? I forget.
I have 2 charm.
So 2 charm. So that's 3, 4, 5, and oh my god, 6 successes. Holy crap.
It's like when someone touches you on your neck and they have cold hands. And it like scares you a bit. Except a little.
It is. It is a bit more than that, as you sort of like touch to her neck and just sort of like ice crystals start to form around it. Almost, and as you do this, she sort of like staggers back and sort of like claws at her neck and just is sort of like gasping for breath. And
he wasn't trying to kill her.
I know, but she does sort of like fall backwards for a moment.
Okay, so if we're not killing them, when do we consider the battle won? Like just very low health. Or what? I'm gonna say. Okay. Okay, can we just play it to death and say just knock out?
Yeah, fight as though you are bringing their HP to 0. But if you're not trying to kill them, you won't.
Yeah. Cool. That just makes things a lot simpler. I'm sorry. It's just, if we start murdering, even though, they attacked us, even if we just start murdering NPCs, we're just going to become murderers.
Yeah. So...
Oh shit.
Oh, Jibu.
That's awesome.
Jibu.
Is it my turn? Whose turn is
it? No, it's not. It's Jibu's. It's Jibu's turn. But I'm going to say that, like, she sort of, like, staggers back as sort of, like, just as sort of, like, corona of ice just sort of like almost like strangling her. But sort of like as like the color like starts to leave her face, she sort of like opens her eyes again and just sort of strikes it with a fist and just sort of like breaks it, and then just sort of like haggardly kind of stands up, just sort of like not really in a fighting stance, just kind of like catching her breath after that.
And that was my non-lethal spell. Amadeus has both hands behind his back, a little smugly, but he's not like Smile.
All right, so now it's going to be Mirika's turn. All right, you know the drill.
Oh.
What's with all these turns with no successes?
I know, this is nuts. You guys never roll this bad. So you kind of like lift up your hands and start readying a spell, but it kind of like just sort of fizzles and dissipates before it can actually reach Pikachu.
So I'm gonna try persuade him now.
Okay.
Can you do like your speech special attack or whatever?
Well, that's
That's
no,
different.
that's,
So
Oh, sorry.
that's a whole different thing.
Sorry. Friendship speech is still amazing whenever you
yeah, I
do
love it.
That's you're at what? You're at.
Am I injured?
I think you are. Wait, no, you're not. You're right above injured. You're
Okay,
at 9.
what's the roll? Persuasion, charm.
That's so you're trying to persuade them to stop fighting.
Yeah. 7.
Okay, so 2 successes. What do you want to say to them?
Guys, come
Make
on,
this
this is
a little
clearly a misunderstanding. We've come here by accident. Mirika fell down the hole. I don't know what you're trying to protect here, but we're not trying to invade.
We were literally just here for rumors about the guard lieutenant.
So, the woman doesn't really say much of anything, but the man, she just kind of like stares you down, Pikachu. And the man is kind of like he kind of looks at you. It's kind of like rumors about a guard captain in a brothel. You do realize that's a bit hard to. You realize that's a bit difficult to sort of believe.
We're just following. We're just following a lead. We're just looking for the lieutenant.
I'm sorry to say, I think you followed a lead to the wrong place, my friends. And as he says that, as he says that, he kind of throws another one of those bombs, but sort of at his feet. And it doesn't really blind you for more than a second, but when it does, you find that you can't quite see him.
Fucking weed.
He's somehow concealed himself.
Alright.
His compatriot, however, was really not moved by this speech at all, and is actually going to try and attack you, Pikachu.
God damn it.
That's 2 damage coming your way. For a quick... So that'll bring you down to 7, so you are injured. Alright. So Amadeus, I think it's your turn.
Trying to think. Oh yeah. Oh, you said we can just treat this as like a normal fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Treat it as a normal fight.
But they're not
If you're
gonna
not
die.
trying to kill, I won't.
Okay.
I think you've made it abundantly clear you're not trying to kill these people.
Amadeus is going to Amadeus is going to charge up and shoot a bolt of lightning at the lady.
Okay.
At this point, he just wants a clear answer. We haven't been given clear answers since yesterday in game. I'm injured, right? So how many do I pull? And there's interference still?
Yeah, that'll be. I think 5 is correct. Or wait, flip one more. I think it's 6.
Okay, 1 success. Better than no success.
So it's not much of a lightning bolt, but just the electricity sort of grazing her is enough to make this woman, who was fighting on like pure adrenaline alone, just sort of like fall to her knees and just kind of like sit on the ground, sit on her knees on the ground.
Amadeus closes his grimoire with one hand, like a.
And at this point, actually, her compatriot actually does sort of like reappear, almost coming out of thin air. The way he sort of like he sort of concealed himself, and just kind of he just sort of addresses you guys, just being like, "All right, chaps, you know what? That's probably about enough."
Thank you.
Okay, that's a little rude. That's a little rude, but it's still enough.
We just wanted a straight answer. We apologize. We didn't mean to snoop around. There was literally no one out there, and we have no official business being here. We were just following a trail to see if the lieutenant hasn't been seen by the captain in a couple days, and we were hired to see if we could find the lieutenant. A guard informed us that this might be a good place for rumors. That is all we wanted. That is the whole story. We are not investigating you. We have no business. We don't have anything. We have nothing to do with what's going on. We just wanted to find someone to ask around. We're just looking. Amadeus just looks like exasperated. He's just like, please, we just, we didn't want this.
Okay. So he kind of he kind of just says like, "Oh, well, a lieutenant, so the lieutenant."
Just rumors. We don't know if he's been here. We're just seeing if there's any rumors of if he's been seen around town. We should be clear.
I might know something about him, but I was wondering if y'all knew anything about a certain thieves organization in the big city.
No. We have no information on that. We are all, for the most part, outsiders.
See, that's exactly why it's hard to trust you. But you seem honest enough. He says that, and he kind of takes out like a kind of like pours it into his compatriot's mouth. And her eyes just kind of like blink open, sort of like a little like back to life sort of. And she just sort of looks away and Effie, I don't think these kids are with the guild. I think we're more than fine. He sort of like, and Effie just sort of like, she sort of stands up for a moment and she's like, "You didn't tell them any. You were talking to them about the guild? You didn't tell them anything, did you?" I didn't even answer their question, dear. Speaking of which, yeah, actually, I have seen Malcolm in a while. He used to be a regular here, but he stopped coming. And just the other day, I could have sworn I saw him outside. I saw him outside the city wall while going for a stroll with what looked like a lady friend of his. Couldn't quite make out much of her features. She was wearing some weird black robe.
Well, that is definitely helpful. Is there anything else? If not, we are going to. And then Amadeus like looks up. Leave if there's a way out of this.
He kind of like quickly just kind of tosses the knife at the locking mechanism and kind of just hits it, and it sort of falls open. It's a bit of a there's handbars there. I'm sure you can see.
What? Wait, there were? That's the second time.
I mean, they had to climb out of here.
I know, but Amadeus is just like the second time there was like a trap or a pit, and they just had like built-in like a metallic ladder made of handlebars.
Okay.
Amadeus looks exasperated.
So now I'm gonna say it is this session. Okay, I know exactly. So you guys are gonna start to climb out.
Yes, and Amadeus will be like, thank you for the information. Hopefully, be a useful lead. And we shall leave quietly.
As you begin to like climb out the handlebars, you hear from like up above, sort of like, because you guys are like a little bit underground at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But you hear from up above what sounds like sort of like a low rumble and like a bit of the ground shaking, almost like an explosion happened outside.
For the record, that was not me.
Also, why did Jibu say Pingus?
To this day, we don't know.
Yeah. Alright. That will probably be worth checking out. Let's hurry.
Okay.
Huh? Sorry.
Oh, wait, 1 second. Need to get. I should have had this ready beforehand. So, are you guys gonna head up?
Yeah. Although I did want to know what was behind the door.
Well, that's not our place right now.
For now.
So you guys start heading up, and sort of as you're kind of like sort of heading out, you start hearing like you start hearing like multiple explosions going off, like sort of like, and yeah, now you can like and now that you're like a bit farther above ground and like actually in the brothel proper, you actually like totally are like hearing them.
We run outside.
So sort of as the brothel is as you brothel, you start to hear like a lot of like explosions as well as sort of screaming and yelling from outside, and you run out to see you run out to see something that is a bit shocking, and it is bandits sort of like running about the town, sort of like destroying and looting things.
Oh god.
And that is where we're going to end our session for this week.
That's a good place to end. Nice little cliffhanger.
Alright. I hope that session wasn't too much of a mess.
It wasn't.
The thing is, I knew this one had to be a bit of a slower one.
Yeah, it was a bit slow, but like it kind of has to be done. Like,
yeah, two fights. It's not terribly slow.
That's true, I suppose. I don't know. It's just I had to like sort of set some things up.
Yeah.
Just to kind of like have that clear. Just sort of like to set things up for the next session. This one kind of had to be a slower one.
Yeah, I think some things are like the going into shops that could be like streamlined a bit. Because we did spend a lot of time in there.
We did spend a lot of time in shops. Moving forward, I think I might focus a little bit less on the realism of the shopkeeping and a bit more on
I think that'd be better for the
just sort of like
overall
having
flow.
having a stock for you guys.
Yeah,
Oh, I like interacting with the shopkeepers.
we can
Oh,
keep
well,
a bit of it. It doesn't have to be completely.
We can keep a bit of it, but we did spend a quite
Yeah,
long time on it this session. And you know,
Okay.
still good.
it's notes for me. I mean,
I just don't want to make it like too video gamey where you just go in and leave and there's no like character interaction.
Speaking of
Yeah,
notes, we need that character list.
we do
Please,
need
for the love
that.
of
We do
God.
need that character list.
All right.
I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it at some point tonight, and I'm going to post it here. I'm going to actually do it this time.
All right. Well, I'm gonna head out. It's been fun.
Yeah.
This was good though.
Yeah, next session is going to be a lot of fun for you guys.
I have a
It's gonna
feeling.
be-
Yeah.
Next
I have a
session,
feeling
I've
for
got,
sure.
I got big plans for the upcoming session.
But yeah, Dingle, remember, do get back to me if you want that thing.
Yeah, I think I might actually be sending you some stuff pretty soon.
Time to burn down the
Yes.
No.
It's Amadeus's moment. All right. Peace.
It'd be more fitting to summon